Like Gore Vidal, I never wanted to do anything else but go to the movies. Perhaps because Werner Herzog, the brilliant German director, was right when he said that movies can transmit ecstatic truth, a special truth full of deep human meaning. Well, my name is Jim, and these are the Academy Movie Junkies. This is our studio, and we're very proud of it. We like it. And in here, we're making a series of programs for the internet about movies. And I'll ask my on-air colleague, Brian, to explain a bit about the movies.
Thanks, Jim. Well, what it is we try to do here at Movie Junkies is we take a look at films dealing with drug addiction and alcoholism, films generally dealing with darker or heavier topics, and we try to relate them to different topics in recovery. And what Jim and I do, as well as all the junkies, is we go around campus and we talk to people here, at this treatment facility, Gatehouse Academy, about what their view is on the film or on that specific topic.
Had some, family problems?
You've got family problems. I've got family problems too. But you know what? I still come to work every day on time.
What are we talking about here? I got drunk once. But since I've been here, I have been really good. I have been on time, all my appointments, all my meetings, everything. Ask Mitch!
Yeah.
I need your help. I'll pay you.
To kidnap your kid.
This is where they're gonna park their car. There's nowhere to run, see?
And it's time my luck changed, and it's time something went right for me for change. And then, here's the kicker. We kidnapped the kid from her. We kidnapped the kid from her. And there's real money there. Nick, I tell you, I've seen the pictures, and they're loaded. No! Well, she needs to see you. You're her little boy, and she misses you. $2 million.
$2 million, and you guarantee he will be at the address you give me?
Yeah, well, I can see you're mad at me. And, your mother, she's wonderful.
Then why didn't she choose someone like you with a gun?
Ah! You don't know me, I don't know you. You get in my car, I'm taking you to your mom.
Do not waste a second thinking that you've got these magical, incredible powers, because what you are is an out-of-control, suicidal, blind alcoholic.
So, Jim, today we're going to be taking a look at the movie Julia, starring Tilda Swinton and directed by Eric Zonka. I watched the film the other night, and essentially it's about a woman who struggles with alcoholism and a whole twisting, turning plot that she's involved in. And she inevitably, through her alcohol abuse, gets herself deeper and deeper into different kinds of trouble. And my opinion on the film is Tilda Swinton did a great job. It wasn't my favorite film in the world, but she did a great job kind of depicting the alcoholic going further and further into a binge, and eventually things getting worse and worse. And I know today we're taking a look and we're interviewing a couple people we have here at Gatehouse about their experiences with strictly alcohol abuse, and I'm looking forward to that.
Thanks, Brian. Well, yeah, I wouldn't say it's my favorite film, but I really enjoyed it. It was a very entertaining movie, apart from the times when it's just purely embarrassing, because you see things that you're embarrassed for Julia. I mean, it's something for Tilda Swinton to be able to say that, because she did such a good job of that. It's too bad the film didn't get more attention, because it is entertaining. It keeps you, as somebody said, keeps you on the edge of your seat. You don't know until in fact, you have no idea it's going to go into this kind of bizarre last act. And you don't know until the very end what's going to happen. But what you do know and what you do see is an alcoholic run wild.
I mean, when I was drinking, I didn't have a conscience anymore, and I only thought about, like, immediate gratification. I never thought of the consequences that things would bring. And I basically just did whatever I wanted in that moment, whether it was like driving drunk or stealing from my family and friends. Like, I didn't have any feelings afterwards. I didn't have any guilt about it.
You know, the longer I drank and the more I drank, I actually became at the end like a 2-year-old. I was completely self-centered. And all I thought about was what I needed to do and what I needed to have for me, and it all revolved around my drinking. And whatever I needed to get done during the day, was actually secondary to how I could get a drink. And at the end, of course, I had alcohol with me all the time. And if I didn't have alcohol with me, I was thinking about how I was going to get it. And if I wasn't drinking, I was thinking about drinking. And that's all I really cared about. And I didn't care what I said to whom. I didn't care what I did. I didn't care what responsibilities I had. All I really wanted to do was to drink. And so if I was having a conversation with you, what was upmost on my mind, or foremost on my mind, was how can I get this conversation with as quickly as possible and get this guy out of here so I can go have a drink. You know, like, what do you need me to say? And if I had to, I would say something rude so I could just get you out of my office so I could go do what I wanted to do, which was to drink. And everything pretty much fell along those lines. In staff meeting, I was always irritable and always, wanting to get out of there. And I didn't care. Anything people said was boring to me because everything was boring to me. Everything I was doing would always be better if I was drunk. And if I wasn't drunk, then everything was always terrible.
I was drinking to cover up the pain that I was in because I didn't want to feel the pain and I didn't want to feel the guilt that was being dumped on me at that point. And so I drank to cover it up, made sure that I always had my bottle of wine when I went home, and I would check it out in the morning, and if I had less than a half a bottle of wine, I made sure that I stopped at the grocery store on the way home and got another one, because I didn't want to be without it.
I always had a bottle with me. I always had bottles everywhere. In my car, in my purse, sometimes in my office. Just, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't function unless I was a little bit tipsy or high. A little bit tipsy, probably being half in the bag, as I recall. But yeah, it was a crutch. It was more than a crutch. That's what addiction is. It's not being able to function unless you have something in you, unless you have some alcohol in you.
Pretty much like any social situation, I had to drink before because I got a lot of social anxiety and I wouldn't feel comfortable unless I was drunk, if I was with a guy or like a dance, anything.
I shelled myself in. I did not drink socially. It was more at home that I drank. If I did drink when we were out and about, I was very, very careful as to how much I drank and what I drank. The one time that I did drink to get drunk, we were in Las Vegas, and I was drinking Drambuis. And I don't know how many of those things I downed, and never did feel drunk. Maybe I was at the time. I don't remember ever feeling drunk. But 2 weeks later, it hit my kidneys, and I was urinating red blood. That was the last time I did that trick, because it was a painful, painful experience, and it scared me to death.
It started to be all that I cared about and all that I did. I would just isolate in my room and drink. I mean, like I said before, I really didn't care about my future. I ended up getting kicked out of high school a month before graduation because that morning I wanted to get drunk before school. And I never thought about the impact it would have.
I always thought that I was really on my game when I was drunk, but as a matter of fact, looking back, I wasn't doing anything. I was just spinning my wheels. I was just digging myself into the ground deeper and deeper. But in my head, I thought I was terribly witty and terribly funny and really on and really insightful. But looking back, I'm certain that people around me were just shaking their heads thinking, what an idiot. What a fool she is, and who does she think she's trying to fool with that act?
Well, you know, one of the things that we don't see too much of these days, Brian, is people that are just pure alcoholics. Most of what we see here at Gatehouse, of course, are people that are cross-addicted to alcohol and all the other drugs. So we're Julia, of course, is a straight alcohol lady. And the people we talked to today from Gatehouse are alcohol too. So that was very good. I just want to say that one of the things that really struck me about the movie is that we saw the disintegration of her coping skills. I mean, so much of what we learn as we grow up is how to cope with life. And with alcohol, not only if you have alcohol most of your life, you don't even learn those skills, but even the skills you do have, they deteriorate as you drink, and then everything just goes and gets messier and messier. Anyway, what do you think?
Well, like you were saying, Jim, for me, I know that towards my teen years, alcohol became my coping skill, my coping tool, so to speak. And in that aspect, all other coping skills that I would have developed in those very vital years of teenhood, you know what I mean? They're, for any person, alcoholic or not alcoholic, being a teenager sucks pretty much. But, you know what I mean? A normal person develops a lot of coping skills in that time. And for me, it was alcohol. So I didn't develop those. And through coming into recovery and figuring myself out, I had to learn what those were. And I had to learn how to deal with things. And one of those was fellowship, was, you know what I mean, being able to lean on other people and let them lean on me, you know, an even keel, you know. So, I don't know, I think, you know, as much as I was not a fan of the film, I think it does raise a very good topic for us here at Movie Junkies to talk about the strictly alcoholic person and what that looks like coming through here at Gatehouse, because we do get it. You know, we do get a lot of people as evidence. Where you going, puppy? As evidenced by some of our interviews today. So we do have very in-depth notes. If you would like to see them, you could send an email at the bottom of our screen, and we will get back to you. Thank you.